Cheers everyone! Welcome back to Grandma's Handbag. So glad you could join us. Thank you very much for stopping by. We're going classic tonight. Classic whiskey, cut glass decanter, because this is a bit of a tribute video to my local, which closed just the other week after 51 years. So this is a Sydney institution. I'm talking about Lawson's record stores, and I just want to give you a little bit of a rundown. 51 years in business, there's been a communal outpouring, as you can imagine. I'm going to read off a couple of notes and things here, but I want to get through that. And while that it really hurts to lose any kind of record store, Lawson's here is symbolic, which is why I want to share it, because it's basically the last man standing in what Sydney once had was a golden mile of record stores, which I was lucky enough to sort of see even on the back end of its heyday in the 1990s. So I certainly frequented times there. So what I want to do is give you a quick look at the shop itself, Lawson's. I've got a little bit of footage, tell you about it, and then I'll at the end sort of show you the last three things I was able to pick up at Lawson's. Alright, so there you go. A little bit of footage, and you can see the history on the walls there. I didn't get a great footage, but hopefully got a little bit of a feel. Posters on the walls. Those records on the back of the walls have been there for years. Only a small record section. More recently, definitely DVDs and CDs. But the records definitely came back in the 2000s, maybe not to the extent that they used to, but it was still somewhere which I'd be going at least once a week for the past 3 to 4 years, because it was a minute walk from work. So I was very fortunate in that one. Anyway, Lawson's Record Centre. Here's a bag from the thing. You can see from the bottom, established in 1968. New and used records from 50s to classics. I love that. There's something very familiar about this bag. It really hasn't changed its look in a long time. And look, Lawson's just a great local to have there. The reason they were closing was basically because, and you can find more in one of the links below, the rent had tripled, I think, in 7 years, and it was currently sitting at around about $7,000 Australian a week, and that was looking to go up to nearly $20,000 a week. Now, I don't know about you, but $20,000 worth of effectively second-hand sales, it's a little bit much. And you can have a look at Jerry here, the owner. Fantastic guy. He's owned it for near on 40 years, but look, when the landlord comes in and wants to put the rent up in, which is one of the top 2 or 3 streets in Sydney, albeit if you have a look at these pictures, you can see it's not the top end of town. As you can see, it's certainly downtown more than uptown. But $20,000 a week of records, DVDs and CDs in today's world is a near impossible task. So that's basically why they're closing up. And it's a real shame to see. A gentleman who I work next to, who's lived in Sydney for nearly as long as Lawson's has been around, and even though he works a minute away like I do, he still comes in on a weekend, and he wouldn't be alone in that either. It's just a haven for people who like physical media. So it's going to be really sadly missed. You saw there's a very unique labelling system with regards to A to Z, and it didn't, people were divided on that sort of thing. They actually, you either liked how they put it, which someone told me was a precursor to Apple's Apple Music's filing system, which is first name goes first. So if you've got John Martin or John Cale, that'll be under J. If it's Brian Eno, well, that depends, doesn't it? If it's listed under Eno as his first 3 solos, then that'll be under E. But if it's under Brian Eno, then it'll be under B. So, it's a bit off-putting to some people, but as you saw in the footage, it is what it is. What else to say? Look, Jerry and Rich, the owner, and Rich is trusty offsider, main offsider for, probably close to 20 years now. Will be absolutely missed. Just genuine good blokes, and you know, the connections and things I've seen them make, and I'm a bit standoffish in terms of I take a long time to warm up, but I did sort of get there with Rich and also Jerry. But lovely folks, definitely thinking of them. And like I promised, to go back, we're going to just look at the last 3 records I was able to pick up from Lawson's. Those stickers will be staying on here because you won't see their like again, although we can dream. So Martin Carthy with Crown of Horn on the Topic label, $15 for this one. Look, given the prices, I always did think that Lawson's were getting up in price, but now knowing just how much they had to pay rent, I can absolutely see why. So the second one there is a New Zealand copy of Ravi Shankar, Sound of the Sitar with Alaraka. Mono copy, lovely condition on the Australian Festival label there. And last but not least, nice and shrinky, a repress of Edgar Froese's Aqua on the Brain label. This is, I think, an early 80s repress. It's in nice condition, but pretty wobbly. So, Brain label repress there. Like I said, all of these stickers are staying on. Because it's Lawson's, and it's really sad to see one disappear. So everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. Raise a glass to your local. Get in and support them. You know, it was great to see in the last month or two, as word spread that Lawson's were closing, that the numbers packed out, came back in for reminiscences and things. And look, while you may think it's too late, maybe with those sorts of rent increases, it was always going to be that way. But it was lovely to see people back and connecting with a great little store. So Lawson's, to Jerry, to Rich, cheers to you guys. Always will be fondly remembered, and we hope we see you guys somewhere down the path, perhaps as a Lawson's resurgence. Anyway, look after yourselves, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I do hope to be back soon. Another episode of Top 50, Top 100 Records around the corner, and some more stuff to come soon as well. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.